Well, you would never know that I've probably done over 2,000 live broadcasts and yet forgot to bring my camera up. Once again, that's like the third time in a row. Hey guys, it's Andy over at today's CBD Oil, coming to you from Brea, California on New Year's Eve. And of course, as we approach New Year's, we always have to talk about goals. And as if you've not heard enough about that, if you're watching the news or watch other broadcasters on any of the platforms where you watch live broadcasting or recorded broadcasting. But I simply wanted to throw my hat in there and talk about some of the things that I've learned over the years, that goals don't work necessarily because there are some things that have to happen, right? And so I want to talk about a few things that are really important to start off with. First, these are not going to be goals. And then I'm going to share a video of Grant Cardone, who did a really good job of talking about the types of goals that you should have that are better than just the simple goals of I want to lose 10 pounds or whatever it is. I want to lose this face, whatever it is you want to do. All right. And so I really think these first couple things, there's probably more, but I know that I have I've considered these things, a great deal, and they've been important for me in order to be able to get to the place where you can even begin to accomplish what you may have been jotting down as goals or considering as goals. So I want to go through those things first. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my banners here, and I'm going to get rid of this this frame that I have that I put up there. And one of the first things you absolutely must do before you can attack any goals, right? I don't think this should be a goal on its own, but I think you need to start with wellness. You need to not have this as a goal. You need to have this as a lifestyle. I surely have had periods of time in my life where I have not been well, whether it's due to the car crashes I was involved in and the shootings I was involved in as a police officer, that has caused certain wellness issues in regard to, depression and anxiety and, not wanting to get up out of bed in the morning and draw the curtains and that kind of stuff. And then there's the not eating well, right? While you're going through those depressions and anxieties. And quite often what you do is you eat poorly and not really taking into consideration what it is you're putting into your body. You're not taking vitamins, you're not going to the gym, you're not working out, and things begin to change. And so I've had those periods of time. I've had periods of time where I've been in really good shape. But I can tell you since about 2 years ago, when I started getting into CBD and then later on in Viseo, which is the wellness company that I represent with today's CBD oil, that I am currently had a very strong passion with this way of living, a more congruent, is that the right word I'm looking for? Congruent way with my wellness. I hope that's a proper sentence. If it's not, let me know. But it really, over these last 2 years, has really been a focus. So my focus has been more on eating well, taking good supplements, the ones that I take with Viseo, like Core Complete and Renew and Eternal, the box of Eternal that I have right here, has been a life changer for me. All right. And so that's why I share it with so many people all the time, because it's not something I'm trying to sell to you. It's something I'm sharing with you to show you that with me, it's been fantastic. And I promise you that I truly believe and I feel much healthier today than I have over the last 20 to 30 years. And that is a true fact. The amount of weight I lift at the gym and work out, the distance I can go in the rowing machine, whatever that is greater than almost the time that I was in the police academy. Only thing I could do differently in the police academy was I ran a lot more, and I hate running, so I don't do that. Let me see if there's a comment. Hey, Rosie, nice to see you. And so in considering these things that I'm bringing to you, this is, again, not a goal, all right? Because I think so many people use becoming well, losing weight, doing these things as a goal that you quite often don't achieve it. It simply has to be a decision to change your life and to change the way that you're living. And that is not a goal. That is something that just simply needs to happen if you're going to be able to do other things in regard to reaching goals. Because quite often, if you're not feeling well, if you are anxious and you're depressed and you're angry and all these things that go along with not being well, it is very, very hard to get motivated to meet any goals, like starting a new business or creating wealth or creating time through having a passive income. Excuse me, that snuck up on me. And so you have to make sure that it is just simply done in regard to your wellness, because if you're not well, you are definitely not going to achieve. The next thing that I think is very important, this has been huge for me, and right now it's going to have to be something I'm really going to have to concentrate on. Again, not as a goal, but as a lifestyle, and that is to I meant to change that. It's not the first thing. I changed it and I didn't save it. All right. But you also have to start with, so we're going to start with both wellness and we're going to start with forgiveness. All right. So you have to begin to forgive. And trust me, right now, at this very moment, there is at least one person I need to forgive. And I don't know where I'm going to get the strength to do that, but I'm going to find it this year. Again, not a goal. It simply has to be a decision that I have to make and something I must do. One thing that I had to do last year that was really important was to forgive myself. And that was probably, compared to this other person, is the second hardest thing I've had to do in my life. There's a lot of things, nothing horrible. I'm not a murderer or anything like that. Nothing really bad. But there are some things that I know for sure I could have done better. I know those different decisions I could have made. I made some bad business decisions, which cost us just about everything that I owned and had, a house and money and bank accounts and all that kind of stuff, right? And so I often thought about it last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that, where it kind of held me back. It was kind of this weight, this anchor that was dragging me down because I did not feel worthy of success. I did not feel that my track record would allow me to be successful. I lived in the past so much that I could not live in the future. And so at some point, if you have something like that that's weighing you down, is that you have to really, truly begin to, you truly have to forgive yourself and know that, you know what, these are opportunities. The things that I did that caused me angst or pain or nearly caused, I was forced to live in my car with my kids and my ex-wife, that type of decision. Those things are things that did happen, but they are powerful, right? They're powerful to be able to use now to show that I did not lose the house. I was able to save the house. I didn't have to live in my truck. I did sleep in my truck at a couple of events because I was investing in myself and needed to live in my truck or to sleep in my truck in order to do that. But that's, something, that's sacrifice. That's something you have to do. But it had to really begin with forgiveness of myself for the things that, the bad decisions I made, the choices that I made, the people that I used to hang out with, and choosing to be at work as opposed to being at home working on my marriage. And so there's things that have to, that you have to, really dig down deep and forgive yourself for first. And then you can begin to forgive those others. I think it probably starts with forgiving yourself in many cases, and then coming around to the people that you have to forgive. And the reason this is important is because if we don't, we live in that muck, right? That quicksand that continues to pull you down, where you just can't get out because you're so busy thinking that how this person caused this, situation, or, I'm so angry at them because they put me in the situation where I'm struggling, or my children are struggling, or whatever that is it can be hard to get that out of your mind and to move on to more important things. And that is getting to your goals. So getting well, physically and mentally, through good nutrition, exercise, fresh air, eating right, and taking the right dietary supplements, and then forgiveness is the next big, huge step. Let's see what Hey, Amy, nice to see you. And thank you for this. Rosie writes, remember the wisest investment you can ever make is in yourself, no matter what day. Hey, you must be reading my banners that are coming up next. Now is absolutely the best possible time to begin your journey towards health and also wellness. Thank you, Rosie. Absolutely. And Amy says, forgiveness is huge. Oh my gosh. It along with wellness, the forgiveness was huge. And it's hard. I'm telling you, it's just this weird kind of weight that gets lifted every so often. It kind of floats back, right, and comes back on your shoulder. Oh, no, listen, you've forgiven that person. Don't let them tie up any time in your brain. Don't let them take any of your sleep. Let them take any of your energy that could be better used to do something else. And you have to move on. I'm telling you right now that if there's anybody else out there that has this one person maybe that you are just that's what I have right now. And so I'm looking for some accountability partners to remind me, hey, have you forgiven that person yet? And I'm telling you right now, I have not. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, I have not. It has to do with my kids. And so that is why it's difficult, because I was duped for a decade. And so it is hard. And I need some people to hold me accountable, maybe send me a message, every so often, if you think about it, put it in your calendar. I know I'm probably not that important to you that you need to put something about me in your calendar. However, I could use a push from time to time, because I know that has to happen if I'm going to move forward and achieve my goals. All right. Let's see. I think I have one more. And Marie, oops. Sorry, didn't get rid of the comment. Hold on, I got to get rid of Amy's fantastic comment. All right, so let's go back to the band. Okay, so the next one is you definitely need to invest in your success. You need to invest in your success. Thank you for bringing that up, Rosie. And this is so big that people do not do this. And I had to learn to invest in my success, but it seems to hold a lot of people back. I have a lot of tools that I suggest to people. I have a lot of things that I would suggest people do in regard to the Viseo business, and in regard to going to the events like Overcome Nation event that was just in Dallas, and the event that's going to be for Viseo in Florida. And those are just examples, because in your business, I'm sure there's examples of how you can be more successful in your business by investing in yourself. One of the toughest things I had as a business owner with a lot of employees, I've had up to 500 employees, but one of the things that was most difficult for me to understand is that there were a number of employees who came to me because they wanted to be either better in security and being a bodyguard and that kind of stuff, or they wanted to be an expert in the dog training business. And they came to me, in the interview saying, I want to be the best dog trainer. I want to come to you to be the best dog trainer. And I just want to learn everything from you and be a part of this thing that you got going on and want to learn. And I would give them opportunities I would hire them or say, okay, I would say, okay, next week we have a 3-day event that I'm hosting where you can be alongside with me while I am teaching these handlers. And there's no charge, but you can come along and just be side by side, bring a notebook, bring a camera, a video camera, and record every word. I don't care. Just come and do that. And they would go, no, next weekend. I don't know if I can next weekend. I got some other stuff going on. And I would think, but just a couple months ago, you came to me and said, hey, I want to be the best of the best. And yet you couldn't take 3 days, right, out of your time, maybe even 2 days. Maybe I could say, well, one day is because I have to go to a funeral, but the other 2 days I'm free, right? Or the 2 other days I was going to go to the movies. But when I heard what some of the stuff was, I was like, but you said you want to be the best. So in regard to their time, they weren't willing to invest in their success. They didn't want to take the time to invest and do the things that they needed to do in order to become successful. The other thing is monetary, right? There's people that aren't willing to invest monetarily, whether you have the money or not. I know so many people that are broke that find a way to invest when they're motivated enough to become successful. And I am one of those people. Remember, I told you just a few minutes ago that I slept in my car to go to an event because I could not afford the hotel for the 3-day event I went to in San Diego, and slept in the parking structure of the hotel, and would go in and get into the bathrooms in the morning and take a shower in the sink, and would look. Nobody ever knew. They ended up telling them later on because there was something that occurred, and somebody asked me something. I said, well, I'm sleeping in my truck because I'm broke. I had to borrow money to get gas in order to drive down there, and I only live in Orange County. And so that's how broke I was. But I was broke, but I invested in my success and time, and I found somebody that could help me in the meantime, and then eventually I could pay them back. I mean, that is important. When I was a canine handler with the city of Anaheim, and I knew that if I wanted to be the best, I needed to learn, how the police dogs were being trained in Europe. So I knew I had to go to Europe and meet some trainers out there and go out there. But at the time, I was just starting a family. I just bought a house, and didn't necessarily have the money to go travel in Europe looking for the trainers that I could go and hang out with and spend some time with. And so again, not being able to afford it, I went out into the community and I raised money and got some backers in the community that paid for my travel, my hotel, my food while I was in Europe, learning to be the best dog trainer I could possibly be, and was successful, and did not let not having money stop me. In regard to Vasayo, the best thing you can do is start as a founder. That's a $1,500, $1,600 amount of product that you can invest in, so that you have all the product that you can take personally and also share. And then by doing that, you also get a higher percentage of the overall income of the company later on. Right. So as you become a gold, then now you'll be able to begin to reap the benefits of taking the first step of signing up as a founder. Now it's an incentive, right? Vasayo wants you to sign up as a founder because, of course, now you get to experience all the products. You're going to be more successful because now you have product to share with people and you're able to talk about the products. And it's surely an incentive. They don't have to give you 2% of the overall income of the company, but in order to get you to understand that investing in yourself is so darn important that we will share in the profits if you do so, because we know if you come in as a founder, you'll be more likely to be successful. And so they're investing in you in a way by you investing in yourself. And it's a really great model for you to understand why that is important. So many people want to join up and, can I just spend $200? Is that good enough? And you could, and you can join Vasayo as a brand partner for $200, but are you going to get the best opportunity to be successful? And the answer is no. And so investing in that. Could I afford the $1,500? No. I put on a credit card. I was able to get a few people in and then pay off that credit card with what I was able to do after I invested in myself via the credit card. So the other thing, there are tools that I like StreamYard, for instance. I've talked to a lot of people about using StreamYard. There's a lot of people that were doing interviews with their phone app, which is a horrible way of doing interviews, by the way. I'm so glad it's gone. I've never been happier. But they're good. No, I don't know what to do. And I don't want to pay for StreamYard. It's $20 a month for the pro version. I mean, what? So many people have no problem spending $6 or $7 for a Starbucks latte, mocha mix, whatever, daily, right? But for some reason, in the thing that can actually bring them to a place where they can afford, having 10 of those a day if they wanted to, they're not willing to invest in, right? They'll invest in the coffee, but they won't invest in the $1 a day, less than $1 a day, 75 cents a day of getting a product like StreamYard to be able to broadcast to an audience, to share your message, and to really begin to build momentum towards your success. By doing shows. And I could look at so many different things. These are just the examples that are just coming off the top of my head right now. But so many people make excuses for not participating and investing in their success. Investment comes both in time and money. So you have to be able to take the time, invest the time, and use money in a way that helps you move forward toward those things that you want to achieve in regard to your goals. So just to kind of go through these things first. These are not goals, remember. These are things that I'm suggesting to you are important. You must start with wellness, begin to get well, get some exercise, wake up a little, half an hour earlier, an hour earlier, go for a walk, go for a hike, whatever it is, do some push-ups, do some planks, do some whatever it takes to start beginning to get well, eat better, and begin to take some of the supplements that are necessary for you to achieve wellness. I would suggest Viseo, of course, and CBD, but that is going to be up to you. You must begin to forgive. Forgiveness is huge, and these two things, wellness and forgiveness, are I think they're commingled, and they're very much attached to one another. And then invest in your success. Again, none of these are goals. I've not even gotten to the goals yet. But that's it right here. Let me come back to the comments here. Look back really fast. Andy, check your messages. Hope it helps you as it did me. I will. Is it something I need to know now? Is there something going wrong with my video? Let me know if that's it. Hi, hey Dina. Hello, Dina. Rosie must see you in the feed there. All right, so let's come back to the next thing. Now I'm going to get to some goals, and I'm going to share a video with Grant Cardone, who suggests that your goals should be huge. And I really like the way Grant thinks in a lot of different ways, but I like the way he thinks in regard to goals, because there are so many reasons why goals fail is because they're just inadequate. They're things that I could achieve that goal, but it's not really going to change my life. And I really like the way that he looks at this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this banner and the crawler underneath, and bring up and nobody gets concerned. I know it's on Fox. Some people panic. All right, listen to Grant.
My New Year's resolution is to learn how to play guitar.
Oh. Really? How come?
Well, you know those special skills I have listed on my resume? Well, I would love it if one of those was true.
As an actor, I can speak to that right there.
Well, it's that time of year again to set your New Year's resolution.
And while 93% of people set resolutions, only 45% stick to them past February.
So how can you pick the resolution you can actually keep throughout the new year and beyond? Let's ask someone who's mastered that secret, fund manager at Cardone Capital and author of the 10X Rule, Grant Cardone. Grant, thank you so much for being here this morning. So how do we master that? How do we set resolutions that are meaningful, but also something we can achieve?
First of all, the goals need Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
The goals need to be ridiculous. They need to be unbelievably life-changing. Otherwise, you are certain to give up on them. Wow. Things that 2 pounds, it's not going to change the condition of my life. And so I'll give up on it. People quitting on their goals and their affirmations and their resolutions because it's not going to effectively change.
Well, so that seems counterintuitive to me, Grant. I love it. I love it.
It's radical.
But it's so you got to pick something so big you can't even conceive of it. But like then it forces you to go after it.
2019, I'm 61 years old. 2019, I decided I was overweight, and I said I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, not lose 10 pounds. And then I accomplished that. When there's effective change, when it changes the quality of your life, whether it's money, health, relationships, your business, you want to do something big, not something little. And people give up because it doesn't effectively change the quality.
But really quick, you said I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. What about being more specific and saying I'm going to give up sugar? Like it's something very specific. That's wrong. You say that's wrong.
Later. That's later. Number one thing you should do is set like unrealistic 10x goals. If you wanted 1x and you'd be satisfied with that, multiply it times 10. Okay. If it was money, customers, friends, businesses, travel, whatever, you'd multiply times 10. The second thing you would do is not get lost in the mechanics of how to do it. Because if I want to go from $1 million to $10 million, if you can think that big, I don't want to get lost immediately in how do I do that? How can I give that much money away or make that much money? If you get lost in the mechanics, you'll quit immediately.
You also say that you have to write down every day that goal.
Yeah, every morning and every night. The first thing I do in the morning, this morning, and the last thing I do before I go to sleep at night is write down in present tense exactly what I'm trying to accomplish in my life. Again, these big, unrealistic goals.
What is the who before the how?
Yeah, number 4 is, look, you want to focus on the who. Who, there's always going to be a person attached to the things that you want to accomplish. There's nothing that you're going to do in your life that another person is not going to be involved with. So if it's money you're trying to handle in 2020, who's got my money? Who's got my millions?
Really interesting. Big
Who
unrealistic
has my
goals.
millions? Where's
Look,
my money?
where are they? Well, there's one last thing to do. It's the hardest part.
It's all a
It's a
relationship
person.
game.
It's a person that has the money. It's a person that has your weight loss. It's a person that has, your relationships being better. It's a person, other people are going to make your life happy. Nobody woke up this morning, no matter how much they have, and they don't want something else in their life. Everybody wants to improve their life. The fifth thing that people have to do, and this is the hard part, is they need to write down things they're willing to give up this year.
Ooh.
Who, and what. This is so vitally important. I'm doing a tour this year, free to the public, around the United States. I'm going to try to hit every major city in the United States and spend 3 or 4 hours with people with the goal to mentor 1 million people to make 2020 the best year ever.
Wow.
Wow. Grant Cardone, well done.
It is.
Stuff.
Big
10x.
goals.
Thinks 10x. Wow. Never thought that way.
And write your goal down every day, every morning, every night. Love it.
Sorry, I clicked on the wrong button. So yeah, I love those. I love the big goal thing and writing it down every day. And I've talked about journaling a lot over some of these broadcasts, whether it's I'm talking here on the Today's CBD and Wellness or the Facebook Live TV show that I do, is that the goal. Not the goal. The journaling is one of those things that kind of keeps me on task. I'm constantly writing things down. I don't know. I got notes here. I got stuff written electronically on notes on my computer. I got little Post-it notes that I every so often have to kind of purge and then put them into a journal. But it's always a great thing to write down, to reinforce. That writing down is and I'm not sure what it's called. I think there's a name to it in psychology in regard to writing down your goals. It just solidifies it in your brain, and if you continue to write it down, it's just a way of making that direct connection. So writing down those goals on a regular basis, I think, is super important. So, which I have a banner for. All right, so write down your goals every day, the same goal every day, and I'm going to share a couple of my goals. So I got 2 goals that I've written. I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. But I'm going to go over some of these things that I also have here that you have to keep in mind in order to. I went out of order. Sorry. All right. So there's the one that we had. Your goals should be huge. We already got that. That's from Grant. I appreciate that. And that's saying creating a dream based on momentum is a mistake. Now, Rick Gutman, who is the leader of Overcome Nation, he had a training. I don't know if it was last night or the night before. Lost track because he's had a couple in a row. But one of the things that he very clear to me that I never thought about is that sometimes we get so excited about things in regard to momentum. I even talked about it. You saw a little thing that I had here. It was a ski slope of how for CBD and wellness is huge. It's going to be like $22 billion market in a very short period of time. By the year 2022, it's going to be $22 billion market. And that is momentum, right? And that is a thing, right? The CBD and all the stuff that goes along with it is this thing that has momentum. That has momentum on its own. It's going to be there and it's going to get huge. And it's very likely that a lot of people are going to be made millionaires. Who are the people who are going to be made millionaires? Is it going to be people that are stuck on the hype of the momentum, or is it going to be people that take advantage of the momentum, that invest in their business, invest in their success, that are doing well mentally and physically, that are able to take part in creating their success by learning and doing Facebook Lives and meeting with people and networking and all those things that go along with it? That's not momentum. That is doing. That is participating. The momentum is not going to make you successful. The momentum is there. It's that thing. But if you're going just based on momentum and hoping the momentum is going to take you along with them, it's not going to happen. You have to participate. So if you're just dreaming based on, I would like the CBD. I'm in the CBD business. Let's see what happens. And you sit back and wait for that momentum to carry you. It absolutely is not going to carry you anywhere. It's going to do nothing. You have to be totally involved in the momentum and be a participant and do the things that need to be done in order to be that thing. Rosie writes, writing activates the entire brain. There we go. Right and left side, science-based. Yes. I knew there was something to it, and I couldn't remember what it was. I talked about it years ago in another lecture I gave, and I completely forgot about it because I would teach police officers that writing down the things that they're learning are important, because I'd see guys sitting there with their arms crossed and doing, just listen to me talk, and would have to go through this activity of getting them to actually write stuff down so that they could retain it. All right. Momentum can be a lie. It can be a lie of success, right? There's momentum. The software business had momentum some years, right? And all these software companies were created, and all these new types of jobs created, and then it all came crashing down because the momentum was real, but people were doing things that were wrong. They weren't participating in the right way. They were lying and cheating and stealing and investing in things that really didn't exist, and it all came crashing down. So the momentum is one thing, but you have to be a part of learning how to do it well, how to do it right, and be a participant in your success, along with joining something that's in momentum and being a part of it that way. All right. Is that you definitely want to live your goal every day, be the person you desire to be. And then that's another great thing that Rick talks about in the lectures, is that a diamond is a very high ranking in Viseo, and he suggests that we live as diamonds every day, as if we have already achieved that goal, and what it is that we need to do in order to maintain being in that place, and begin to talk like somebody that has and knows the science behind business success, which is taught in our free business school by Rick, and learning from all the videos and all the training and all the live webcasts that he gives, and speaking the way that he's been teaching us to speak and understand and talk to others, and to really be different than who we are. If we're going to live as our broke self, if we're on a daily basis, if we're going to live on our unorganized self, is the person who doesn't want to invest because they don't feel that they're worthy of success. If you're going to live like that, that's who you're going to be. You're not going to be the person of success if you're not living in a way that you need to live as a successful person, and that is in the mindset of success, and making sure that you've really trained your brain to think that way, so that you don't hold yourself back. It is a very common thing for people to hold themselves back. They always want to, a lot of people want to blame other people. They want to blame circumstances. They want to blame the war. They want to blame the president. They want to blame the political parties. But that's all a lie. You're telling yourself a lie, because what you need to do is understand that it has to do with you. Without your participation, without your motivation, without your mindset, without forgiveness, without being well, it is nearly impossible to create success. It is really, truly up to you, and you need to begin to live like that person of success and be that person. If you're going to be an athlete and you're going to be successful, you hear them all the time. All I ever dreamed about was being a professional and being the best and wearing that Super Bowl ring, carrying the Stanley Cup around. That's all they've ever thought about. They've only worked towards that one goal. They've even had, and I remember doing this as a kid too, where when you're playing football, you're the announcer. There's Andy Falco on the 20-yard line. He's breaking through some tackles. He's going to reach the end zone and score the touchdown. 2 seconds left on the clock, and he scores. Right? And you go through that, and you repeat that over and over in your head. My whole goal was to be a decathlete and and to be a gold medalist in the Olympics, and that's what I want to do. And then I got distracted with in college, and it really didn't happen. But I was pole vaulting. I became ranked number 2 in the state of California as in high school for pole vaulting, and it was because of that mindset. I believed for sure that I was going to be an Olympic gold medalist, and it carried me at least through high school to be the best pole vaulters in the state of California. And that is truly, I believe, due to that mindset. That's all I ever thought about. I studied it. I practiced it. I took gymnastics so I could get better at the flexibility that I needed to be a pole vaulter. Everything that I did every day, at least in high school, for the 4 years I was in high school, was to be the best pole vaulter possible. And even sometimes not studying because I was too busy outside practicing pole vaulting. I remember that so well now that I'm talking about it. Writing up, sorry, wrong one. Hey, Linda. Rosie's saying hi to you. Good to see you here. Andy is talking about our goals for the new year. I love Rosie. She's so fantastic on my Facebook lives. All right. So that was the last one, right? Yep. Live the person you desire. So just live it. Live that life. Live who you are. Don't live in the past. Release the past. You don't want to, I don't believe you ever want to forget the past. I know I've heard people talk about that. You need to put the past behind you and just forget it. I love the past, even the bad stuff, because I now pull it out to help other people who may be struggling with the same thing and show them that I'm not living in that sadness or that regret that I had, that I made a bad decision. I'm living in the benefit of having lived through the regret and been able to come out on top because of it. Sleeping in my car at an event surely was embarrassing. Later on I share it now without that big of a problem. My house being foreclosed upon, where they hang a note on the door saying I need to be out in 30 days. Those are not great times, right? So I could wallow in that memory and think about, oh, see, I'm not worthy, I'm horrible, I'm like, live like that, right? That's how I did live for a little while. But once you forgive yourself for it and begin to now use it in a positive way, it's life-changing, and it's life-changing for other people. So don't forget that you need to put that stuff behind you. All right, now let's move on. I went backwards for a second. So one of my first goals, here's my first goal, and it's a pretty strong goal, and that is I want to increase my income to $50,000 a month. So $50 a month in income is my first goal. I have all the tools, and I've done it a couple times before, so I know I can do it. I've been successful in the security business. I've been successful in the dog training business. I testify in court as an expert at $400 an hour. So I know that when I put all of my effort into my success and invest in my success and live as if I'm that person of success, they can achieve it, because I've done it before. And if you've not done it yet, I'm telling you, if I can know for sure, you can do it. I've been in a lot of colleges and universities, but I've never gotten a degree. I was the smartest person in high school. As a matter of fact, I barely squeaked through because of poor math and that kind of stuff. And again, I was really truly into athletics, and so I was so totally into athletics that a lot of times I wasn't as focused on academics. I'm not as good as my children. My children are fantastic in academics. I'm so proud of how far that they've gone, and they're athletic. But I can tell you that I have been able to achieve what I've been able to achieve at different times in my life, that I know you can too. So I don't believe, maybe I should 10x that. Maybe I should turn that into $100,000 a month. But $50 a month is achievable. I've done it before. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to make it sustainable so that it becomes a legacy and continues on for my kids. That is my plan. And so that's my first goal for next year. The next thing that I've noticed just looking around lately, and that is I'm going to get rid of my past junk. There's a lot of junk as I look around. I'm not living as a what do they call it? A hoarder. So we're not a hoarder, definitely not. But I see things of my past that it's time to get rid of them. I have trophies of all the things that I've won in competitions, being in the canine world, tons of trophies. It takes up like a whole trailer. I think it's time to throw those away. I love those memories. I love what I've done, but what am I going to do with them? And I think it's just stuff of my past that just needs to move on. I'll take a picture of them. I have a picture of them, and I know I have plenty of pictures of them, and get rid of those. There's, books and manuals and files and folders of stuff of my past, and it's time to really just sit down over the next couple of weeks and get rid of the junk of the past. That is going to be one of my goals. That may seem like that is definitely not a Grant Cardone type of a goal, but I think it's a goal that I need to achieve in order to just move forward. I have plans of, hopefully someday have a new relationship with somebody that I can spend the rest of my life with. But in the future, with building the legacy that I want to build with both my children, if she has children, her children too, whatever that is, I want it to be about the future and less about looking at the past and seeing where I've been and what I've done. Of course, we'll have pictures and things and on the wall that I won't get rid of. But there's just so much stuff. I talk about the trophies. I talk about some books and manuals and things that sports that I participate in that I don't do any longer, and even my kids, and that stuff needs to go. So those are my two main goals that I am going to put forward today. And once I get those, there's going to be other goals that I'm going to write them down every day, so that every day I can throw away something, at least one thing, if not 50 things every day, until I've gotten rid of my past junk. And the rest of the day work on achieving the $50,000 a month income that I know that I can achieve. I know that I deserve it. I know my children deserve it. I don't want to feel any guilt about that. I want to earn more money so I can give more away, give more of my time away. give more of my time to my kids and spend more time with them, doing things that are beneficial to them. And so those are my two goals. And I would, in the comments when you're either watching this live or in the replay, it would be awesome for you to put down your goals. I think that is a one other step that you can do to achieve your goals, is that you tell the world what your goals are. If you keep your goals to yourself, then it's too easy for you not to do them, because nobody's going to say, hey, I remember seeing you put one of your goals down. How are you doing towards that goal, right? You're going to be held accountable. Accountability is huge. Having an accountability partner is huge. And I think that's why it's important for me. I feel to have somebody in my life, that important person, whoever that is, whoever that's going to be, that will also hold me accountable. I want that now. I don't think in my 20s I was ready for that. I was a cop and very cocky and full of myself and didn't want anybody telling me what to do. I think I'm in a different place now, where I would really welcome that and want that kind of relationship with somebody now. So an accountability partner, whether it's a friend or spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, I think is huge. And writing it out, so putting it in a comment, I think is one way for you to share it with the world. So now you have this thing hanging over you that you've shared this with people, and now you have to work towards that goal and not forget about it. Let's see. Rosie's on fire. Hey, Linda, nice to see you. Thanks for saying hi. Who else? She's saying hi to Vicki Lawrence. Vicki Lawrence is watching. I know it's probably not the same Vicki Lawrence, but I want to pretend it is. All right, I didn't notice that the first time, apparently. And everything about it as old energy, gratefully leaving the old energy behind this year. I think that's a great way of putting it. Thank you, Rosie. Yeah, that's that old and sometimes negative energy. And it's just time to move on. It's time to move forward, because there's so much to do. The world's changed. There's, with kids, you got, whatever they're going to do, what's important to them. What is it that they need? Where is it that they want to go? What experiences could I give them? I would love to take my kids to Europe and see some of the things I've been able to see in Europe. Including some of the things like in our history, like some of the concentration camps that I've been to. It was a great opportunity. And that sounds strange to say it that way, but it was an opportunity to see what humans can do to one another, and to just understand it, and to know why it's important to remember that type of history, so that it doesn't repeat itself, and figure out how it is that we can make it possible for the world to just be better. And so those kinds of trips I think are important, including trips to India to help, or Africa to dig a well, or India to help build a school that our church does on a regular basis. Whatever those things are, I want that for our future, and being able to build a war chest and an income of $50,000 a month or more would allow all of us to do that, right? And to be able to share what it is that I'm sharing with you today, or our energy to help build a school, or to help dig a well, which Viseo does a great job of, and Overcome Nation does a great job of. And so that is my future. So I hope these have been helpful for you to, thank you. Wow, Rosie's seen so many people join here and watch. I really appreciate that so much. So whether you're watching live or the replay, put in your goals so they can see what your goals are. You can share them with the world and put them out there so that they exist and they actually live. And if I can remember from time to time, I may reach out to you and ask you how you're doing on that goal and keeping it alive. All right. So Rosie, thank you for all your input, and Linda for joining. And I did think I saw Amy for joining too. I do really appreciate that. Share this if you like. I would appreciate that if you would share it. And like and comment. The comments are huge for allowing these videos to get further out into the Facebook world. I'm also broadcasting on YouTube. I know I often forget about YouTube and Twitter and Twitch that I'm broadcasting on right now. If you're watching in any of those platforms, please share and like and give hearts and all the things that go along with it. I appreciate it. And when you're ready to join me at Viseo with this great company that I'm with, it's an international distribution company of wellness products that does everything for you. You merely need to tell people about the products in the company, and you will have a great success if you join us at this particular business school called Overcome Nation. It's fantastic. It's free. It's included. And if you join me, I will make sure that you get in there and get started right away. All right. And again, thank you, Rosie, for joining. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. Awesome. Thanks. Take care. And I will talk to you later.